We're talking about construction injuries, other than law enforcement maybe and firefighters and military people. Those folks out there around big equipment, dangerous equipment, that's a risky business to be in the first place.
It is, but you know, probably the most dangerous construction site is actually road construction.
Is that right?
And I mean, everybody knows we got plenty of it around here.
Yes, and when you go through those sites and guys are working, we try to obey the speed limit and the lights and the barriers, but I'm surprised how close to my car some of those guys are.
It's amazing, and I've represented several people who have been injured in construction zones, and whether it's a road construction zone, Mike, or if it's, you know, construction in terms of buildings. There's so many things you have to do, especially early, because there's so many different companies involved.
Yeah.
General contractor, dozens of subcontractors. You've got architects involved, and the key to those cases is to really get in early, because you know, as that construction zone changes and as the equipment changes, and as if an equipment failure causes an injury and that equipment gets repaired before you have an opportunity to inspect it, it just makes the proof of a case more difficult. And so if you know someone who's been involved in a construction type injury, road construction or building construction, you really need to take quick action on that, because you know, many times it's the equipment that failed. And you know, I just, so many times that you have a case, but if the equipment is repaired or replaced or sold, it just makes it more and more difficult. So you know, move quickly on that, and don't just assume that law enforcement and OSHA is going to do the type of investigation that you may need to prove your case.
When you drive through a construction zone like we do just north of Tuscaloosa on the interstate, I see state trucks, I see trucks with names of companies on them.
Sure.
I see all kinds of workers out there with all kinds of equipment. Ultimately, does the buck stop somewhere, or is every company, every entity responsible for the safety of their own workers? Is there an umbrella over all of that? How does that work?
Well, it would depend upon the type of injury that occurred and what happened.
Yeah.
But you know, all of these construction plans are submitted to the state.
Yeah.
They must be approved. One of the most common violations we see is that the warning devices are not out there alerting people that you're about to enter a construction zone. I mean, there's requirements as to the type of signs you have to have, the distances the signs must be placed, whether you also are required to pay a state trooper to be out there, the lighting within the construction zone, because a lot of these accidents happen at night.
Sure.
When it's very hard to perceive, you know, what you're about to approach, especially in a car. So there's so many things to look at.